Hello friends, welcome to Perfection IAS Editorial Analysis. In today's editorial analysis, we are going to discuss the topic fiscal consolidation and challenges. This topic was in news because of recent 2023 Union budget. Okay, so this topic is very important for UPSC mains and it will come under GS3 economy and some of the facts and some of the concepts we are going to discuss in this topic are also very important for UPSC prelims. Okay, so fiscal consolidation topic is very important for both prelims as well as mains. First we will discuss the context of the topic. So recently on February 1st, finance minister had placed a union budget before the parliament. So in that budget, government main focus was fiscal consolidation. Okay, government had made many steps for the fiscal consolidation, but there are few challenges in achieving fiscal consolidation. So we are going to discuss government steps and what are the challenge ahead for government. First, let us discuss the concept. What is fiscal consolidation? Fiscal consolidation refers to the process of reducing the fiscal deficit of government. Okay, so what is deficit? Whenever the expenditure exceeds the revenue, this is known as deficit. Fiscal deficit means the government's revenue, whenever government's revenue is exceeding whenever government expenditure is exceeding the revenue, it is known as fiscal deficit. So improving the overall financing health of the government, fiscal consolidation is very important to improve the overall health of the government. If the fiscal deficit exceeds beyond a certain limit, it is very dangerous for the financial health of the country. So it is very essential for country to do fiscal consolidation. Okay, so fiscal consolidation can be done through many ways, such as government can increase its revenue. So whenever our revenue is more than expenditure, we can reduce the fiscal consolidation, or else government can reduce the spending, or else controlling the debt. So debt means government borrowing from other countries. If government had many external or internal debt, means government have to pay interest for that debt also. So by by increasing revenue, reducing expenditure and controlling debt, government can reduce its fiscal deficit and do fiscal consolidation. So this is a basic concept about fiscal consolidation. Now let us see the current status of India. Central government's fiscal deficit was 4.5 percentage when before the COVID in 2019-20, a government's fiscal deficit was only 4.5 percentage. So 4.5 percentage is a little bit nominal. But the target of FRBM Act, fiscal FRBM, Fiscal Regulatory and Budget Management Act. So according to FRBM Act, the fiscal deficit should be below 3 percentage, but 4.5 percentage is little bit above the target. But after the COVID, due to the impact of COVID in 2021, government's fiscal deficit increased to 9.2 percentage, so nearly doubled. And in 2022, so due to government's various measures, it got reduced to 6.9 percentage. Okay, so in 2022 the government fiscal deficit was 6.9 percentage. High fiscal deficit raised concerns about macroeconomic stability and can negatively impact the economy. So fiscal deficit already we had seen. Fiscal deficit is very dangerous. High fiscal deficit is very dangerous to the economy. So to reduce the fiscal deficit, this budget follow the conservative strategy and refrain from populist measure. So populist measure means whenever the election is nearby, government will increase its spending by giving some populist schemes and populist measures. But this budget didn't concentrate on populist measure because it followed conservative strategy. So conservative strategy means reducing government expenditure. Okay, The projected fiscal deficit of 5.9 percentage for, so government target is 5.9 percentage. Okay, as 0.5 percentage reduction from current fiscal deficit. The current fiscal deficit is 6.4 percentage. Okay, this is for 2022-2023. So our current fiscal deficit is 4.6 percentage. Government is planning to reduce it to 5.9 percentage. Okay, so this is a basic thing about our current status of fiscal deficit. Now we will see the major thing in this budget. So first thing is fiscal deficit target. So the budget met the fiscal deficit target of 6.4 percentage. Into 2022 budget, government had fixed the target of 6.4 percentage, and it also achieved the target. So current government had achieved last year budget fiscal deficit target of 6.4 percentage. The the important thing about this achievement is it is due to increasing in government nominal GDP as well as tax revenue. Okay, the economy improved, leading to the higher than expected nominal GDP growth. So nominal GDP growth of 2023 is high. What is nominal GDP growth? We all know about GDP. So what is GDP? The total value of final goods and services produced within the country in certain period of time. This is known as GDP. So there are two types of GDP. One is nominal and other is real GDP. So real GDP means whenever we are subtracting inflation. Okay, so when we subtract inflation from GDP is known as real GDP. So nominal GDP means without considering inflation, without subtracting inflation from normal GDP is known as nominal GDP. So due to economic recovery, GDP had increased and tax revenues also increased. So government tax revenues also increased mainly from GST. So the government tax revenue we can categories into two kinds. So one is direct tax revenue and another one is indirect tax revenue. So now indirect tax revenue had increased due to the impact of GDP. So what happened in GDP? The increasing in GDP revenue was due to high sale of luxury goods. So under GDP tax law, the luxury goods like high-end car and some luxury jewelers, which attracts around 28 percentage. Okay, so 28 percentage of tax slab. So because of the higher sale of luxury good and surge in imports, increasing in import will lead to increasing in GST revenue. So whenever the GST revenue increase, government revenue also increases. So this is the first reason. And also the boost in nominal GDP was also due to rising inflation. So due to increasing in inflation, our nominal GDP also increased. Okay, so because of these two things, government's total revenue increased and government had achieved its fiscal deficit target of 6.4 percentage. But in 2024, there may be a slowdown in economy due to various global and domestic factors. So many international organizations had given warning for a recession. So because of those factors, it will it may affect the government tax revenue, and also there is possibility that government nominal GDP growth also very low compared to government estimation of 10.5 percentage. So even though in last year due to these two due to the advantages of nominal GDP growth and government tax revenue increase, government had achieved the fiscal deficit target, but upcoming year is very challenges for government. Okay, the next thing is government, the total non-debt revenue for 2020 to 24 is estimated to be 27 lakh crore. Okay, with the tax revenue estimate at 23 lakh crore. Government revenues can be categorized into two types. So one is debt revenue and another is non-debt revenue. So the debt revenue include government borrowing, and other liability. So these are known as debt revenue. Non-debt revenue means government revenue from taxes and non-taxes. So tax means already we had seen in the last slide, like indirect tax, direct tax. So these are known as government tax revenue, and government non-tax revenue means government revenue from disinvestment of public sector undertaking, and government revenue from dividends. So government revenue from interest. So these are non-tax revenue. Okay. In 2023 budget, government had estimated that its non-debt revenue would be around 24 lakh. Okay, so 27 lakh. In that, the tax revenue is 23 lakh. So because of this, non-tax revenue, non-tax revenue will be around 4 lakh crore. Okay, so already we had seen the non-tax revenue content majorly this parts: the disinvestment, government dividend, and interest rate. Now the government had fixed 4 lakh for non-tax revenue. This is mainly due to another government target of disinvestment. So whenever government disinvest, what is disinvestment? Selling the share of government PSUs to private. While selling the government company, it will attract some amount that is known as disinvestment. So now government disinvestment target is 51,000 crore. Okay, but many economists are saying that this is in this upcoming year it is very difficult for government to attract this much 51,000 crore disinvestment, because private sectors are very reluctant to invest in government companies due to the fear of economic slowdown and global economic recession. So because of that, it is very difficult for government to increase its non-debt revenue and also the revenue from non-tax sources. So this is also important challenge. The next thing is government subsidies. What are subsidies? So government is providing national providing free food grains to people, and subsidies for free power and fertilizer for farmer, and government is also providing social security for old age people. So these things are known as subsidies. Okay, and for LPG also government is giving some concession. So this concession is known as subsidies. The government may save on subsidies due to upcoming years. Government may save on subsidies due to the decline in global commodity prices. In 2022 February, what happened? In 2022 February, due to Ukraine-Russia crisis, global commodity prices had increased. So prices of oil, price of fertilizer, so everything got increased. Now it is declining because of the normalization process. All the commodity price are decreasing. So because of this thing, government will save more on subsidies. So whenever the commodity prices like oil, fertilizer is increasing, government subsidies bill also increases. Whenever this is decreasing, government subsidy price also decreases. So government will save the amount. Okay, so currently because of the decline in commodity prices, government will save more on subsidies. So additional saving has been budgeted for reduced current expenditure. The saving can be used to reduce government expenditure. Instead of using the savings to reduce the fiscal deficit, what government is doing is it is using the subsidy saving to increase its capital expenditure. What is capital expenditure? So government spending in big projects and constructing road. So this is known as capital expenditure. So instead of using this amount to reduce the fiscal deficit target, government is doing capital expenditure with this amount. So this is also important challenges. Okay, so if government concentrate on reducing trade deficit means it will impact other sector also. Okay, but increasing in capital expenditure will only have minimum impact on economy. So these are the major challenges. And one more challenge is private investment. So to attract private investment, government is the main aim of increasing in capital expenditure is to attract private investment. So whenever government spend more on capital expenditure, the private sector also invest in capital expenditure. Okay, so the budget announces 33 percentage 33 percentage increasing in capital expenditure with the aim of encouraging private sector. So whenever government invest more capital expenditure, private also invest. This is happened in normal year, but currently this is not happening. Even the government is increasing its capital expenditure, private sectors are also not investing in capital expenditure. So due to various global and domestic factors, the government the government resilience on public investment to drive the growth is concerning private sector investment is crucial for sustainable growth and job creation. So now government is increasing its capital expenditure, but that alone is not enough for providing more jobs and sustainable growth. For sustainable growth and to generate more jobs, private sector investment also important, but that is not happening now. So government have to give some additional incentives to private sector to attract more investment. So this is the main thing about this article. If you have any doubt regarding this, means kindly type your comment in comment section. Thanks for watching Perfection IAS.